Hello, reviewing Panic by Lauren Oliver. I had to wait a while to do my review on this because I honestly didn't know how I felt about it when I first read it. I think that if you don't categorize it as a teen book or a young adult book, I think you'll be a lot better off. Because if you don't like those books, I would still suggest picking this up. To me, this book deserves a place with 1984, The Animal Farm, and The Casual Vacancy. It's on that level of thought-provoking subject matter. The Casual Vacancy raised a lot of questions, like what would I do if I were in this situation? What would I do if I were trapped in a home that I didn't like? And how would you deal with that? This book raises a lot of similar questions to The Casual Vacancy. It's set in this little town called Carp, and I think that the name that she named the town Carp, because a carp is a bottom-feeding fish, and it's rock bottom. And I think that pretty much describes the town. It's rock bottom. Kids really don't have a whole lot of options of what they're going to do. Their parents, a lot of the parents in this book are drug addicts or drunks, or there's fathers who's not around, etc., etc. And these kids are just, like, lost. I mean, really, they're lost. So this game called Panic came to be, and what it is every year, all the students in Carp High School put forth $1 every day until the end of the year. At the end of the year, the senior class is allowed to choose if they want to compete in Panic or not. And it is a series of events that ends up weeding people out. It's basically like Fear Factor without the safety precautions. Russian roulette, breaking and entering into a house to steal something small just to say you'd been there, surviving a house that's on fire, lots of risky events. And the last person standing, not the last person alive, but the last person who doesn't chicken out and makes it through the events, gets the prize. And the prize is all that money, which usually adds up to about 50 grand. So, as you can imagine, 50 grand would probably get you into a small college or get you a car or a house or something to get your life started. So, it's really a game that kind of helps them out. The adults and the cops do not approve of this game. As a matter of fact, the cops try to shut it down several times in the book. It is not like the Hunger Games, because in the Hunger Games, the Capitol is all for the game. In this book, it's not. It's simply the teenagers, the young adults, the young people. See what I'm saying? So, it's not like the Hunger Games at all. Also, this isn't a fight to the death. It's an elimination type game, where the slowest person, the person who comes out of the house first, the person who doesn't show bravery enough is eliminated, and that's how a winner is chosen. So it's a lot different, but it's a lot like The Casual Vacancy. You can't read this book without thinking about it, because while I was reading it, when I put it down, I was thinking to myself, well, why is there all this teen drinking and risky behavior? And, so much of it was just there. This book was a risk for Lauren Oliver, honestly. Like, it was very bold. It's a very bold book. It's not a weak book. I think that this is a book that I will remember until my memory is shot. Because, like 1984 or Animal Farm or The Casual Vacancy, it raises questions and it makes you think. You honestly can't read this book without thinking about why the game came into being and how these kids' lives made them think that there was no way out but to play a game this dangerous. I don't know if Lauren Oliver intended for it to be that bold or if that's just the way it came out, but honestly, I think that this is the best book of her career. I don't think that it is a young adult book, and honestly, I would like to say shame on the publisher for categorizing it like that, because this is a piece of literature. This isn't a book that should go away in 50 years. This is a book that should become a modern day classic, because there is so much thought in it. Because all across America, we hear of these towns or these streets or these cities where kids don't have an out. They either have to go into illegal business, they turn to alcohol or drugs, and they don't have a way to climb the social ladder. And I think that this book was about that. These kids don't have a way to climb the social ladder, so the game came into being to help one of them. And how they chose to spend their money was, up to them. So, I mean, it was really amazing. I highly recommend this to everyone, not just people who read young adult or teen books, but everyone. Because I think what people missed in The Casual Vacancy was the danger and the cliffhangers and the thing that wanted you to keep reading more. Like, you had to be a pretty dedicated reader to read The Casual Vacancy through its entirety. But there's a lot of danger, there's a lot of cliffhangers. The way that it's written just makes you want to know what happens. Because there is a risk. Honestly, in The Casual Vacancy, you know really what was, in this, it's a game. You want to know who wins the game. So from the very beginning, you have to finish the book to find out who won the game. In The Casual Vacancy, you didn't have that. But I love The Casual Vacancy. Don't get me wrong, I thought it was a 5-star book. But for a lot of people who struggled with it, I can understand why. There wasn't that much plot. I don't even want to say plot. There wasn't that much cliffhangers and danger to make you want to read more and find out what happens. Because you honestly don't really know who the main character is, because it's written in so many point of views. But this, awesome book. Awesome. 5 out of 5 stars. 2 thumbs, way up. If I could give it 6 or 7 stars, I would. It's that good. It honestly, I really feel bad that it's, categorized as a young adult book. But at the same time, I think that this is why you shouldn't just pass up young adult books if you're not into them. Because then you get, shocks like this. This is a complete shock. This is the best work of her career. And honestly, I really hope to see another book similar to this. Not a sequel, but another book or another book series that is similar to this in the thought-provoking subject matter and the character development. The character development in this is what is just oof. And there is surprises all throughout this book. You'll love this book. So like, comment, and subscribe. If you've already read it and you have different thoughts than me, please share them. If you read it and you weren't sure what to feel about it, please let me know, because I felt the same way. So like, comment, and subscribe. And if you haven't read this, read it. It's really good.